age of great transition, where do we stand? As of 2026, the global situation we face is not merely a series of isolated regional conflicts. The tensions in the Middle East, the prolonged war in Ukraine, and the rising instability around the Taiwan Strait may appear unrelated on the surface. Yet beneath them lies a shared historical challenge. What we are witnessing is the restructuring of the international order that has shaped our political and economic systems since World War II. At the same time, humanity faces a growing imbalance between rapid technological advancement and the relative stagnation of political systems and institutional maturity. We now possess unprecedented tools, artificial intelligence and biotechnology among them. Yet the way we govern and think remains rooted in a 19th century, nation-centered mindset. Like a frog slowly being heated in water, we may be failing to perceive the full extent of the crisis. Our outdated mental frameworks are struggling to cope with an increasingly complex world. Individual powerlessness and organic connection. Amid such vast changes, it is natural to feel powerless. However, the relationship between the individual and the whole cannot be reduced to domination or submission. Consider the human body. Roughly 30 trillion cells perform their individual roles, yet together they sustain a single living organism. In the same way, humanity, composed of over 8 billion individuals, can be understood as a vast, interconnected system. From this perspective, today's global turmoil may not be an external catastrophe, but an internal adjustment process. A necessary phase as humanity evolves into a more advanced stage. Seen this way, our anxiety and suffering are not meaningless. They are signals, pointing toward deeper structural transformation. Deconstruction and reconstruction. Throughout history, crises have often served as catalysts for new orders. When existing systems can no longer sustain reality, they inevitably undergo processes of breakdown and renewal. Unfortunately, for humanity, these transitions have often unfolded through conflict, political, economic, and military. Just as fallen leaves decompose to nourish the soil, the collapse of outdated systems can become the foundation for future growth. This is why the current turmoil should not be seen as regression, but as part of a structural transformation. The cost is undeniably painful, yet it may also represent a collective learning process, a step toward a higher level of awareness. Artificial intelligence is a mediator of conflict. In this transitional era, artificial intelligence is more than just a tool, it is a potential mediator. In a world increasingly divided by emotional conflict and bias, AI can provide data-driven insights, helping us approach problems more objectively and integrate diverse perspectives. It can assist us in overcoming one of humanity's greatest limitations, our tendency toward irrationality and emotional reactivity. Of course, AI is not perfect. It can reflect the biases of its creators and is not free from error. But when used wisely, it can expand our cognitive capacity and enhance our ability to solve problems collectively. Technology, in this sense, can support the expansion of individual awareness. And that expansion can ripple outward into collective transformation, transforming crisis into momentum for the future. The crises we face today may not signal the decline of civilization, but rather a transition toward a more integrated stage of human development. The international order established after World War II, centered around institutions like the United Nations, is increasingly struggling to reflect present-day realities. What we need now is not passive endurance, but active awareness and participation in this transformation. We must make responsible choices in our daily lives, while also understanding the broader structural shifts taking place. There is no denying the pain of today's conflicts, especially for those directly affected by war. And yet, within these global tensions lies the blueprint for a new order. Rather than defining the present solely as a crisis, we may begin to see it as a turning point, a moment in which a better future is being shaped.